Right then guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm ranking League 2 fans from the 2022-23 season. There'll be 5 categories. Top category will be quality, then there'll be decent, average, not great, and tin pot. Just before I get into the video, these are solely my opinions, and credit to the ones who travel home and away. I think it's brilliant that you follow teams in League 2 home and away, so credit to you. And yeah, just to get my opinions, and will be ranking them on home and away support. So yeah, let's get into the video. First team, we're going in alphabetical order, is AFC Wimbledon. I'm going to put them into the average category. On average at home and away, there's some decent numbers in there. 7,000 on average at home and 500, just under 550 on the road. So not bad. They brought around 350 to our place. Didn't create much of an atmosphere. I think that lets them down. That probably limits them to going into the decent category. So yeah, going to put Wimbledon into the average category. Next up is Barrow. I'm going to put them into tin pot. I just can't remember much from their fans. Not brilliant fans really. Atmosphere wise and numbers for League 2 isn't brilliant. So yeah, I can't put them any higher than tin pot. Bradford, and they have to go to quality. By far probably the best supported team in this league. 18,000 on average at home is just outstanding for this league. And they've got the best average away attendance too, with 1,200 on average. So Bradford have to go into the quality section. I think the atmosphere is decent. I think at home, like many of these clubs, is not the best compared to the away atmosphere, which was decent on a Tuesday night at our place. So yeah, Bradford no doubt have to go into quality. Carlisle, I'm going to put them into decent. They probably have to travel the most miles in League 2, and they do take some good numbers home and away. On average, I think over 6,500 at home and just under 1,000 away from home. So yeah, some really good numbers, and they do create an atmosphere home and away. Brought some good numbers to our place in April when they were pushing for playoffs at the time. Obviously I got promoted yesterday, so all the best in League 1, and yeah, some good fan base there really. Colchester, and I'm gonna put them into not great. I just remember going there on the Tuesday night, especially in the away one. It was just empty, very quiet in there. I know both games were on a Tuesday night, to be fair, but especially in that game, I went away on a Tuesday night, really empty. So I can't put them any higher than not great. Crawley, I'm going to put them into tin pot. I just think, I think many of the fans when I went in April to the away game weren't Crawley fans. Credit to the ones who were making the atmosphere. Obviously that game meant a lot to Crawley. They did stay up on that day, so some of the atmosphere was decent, but just some of the fans that were there. I remember coming out the ground, there were people wearing West Ham, Chelsea shirts, so not a brilliant look. But yeah, I have to put them into tin pot. Crew, I'm going to put them into not great. At the Crew ground, there's one stand that try and make an atmosphere, but the rest is quite quiet. It's quite an empty stadium too, really, and it looks more evident when you've got that massive stand that they can't fill. And then the Tuesday night game at the Bescott, they didn't bring many to us. So I can't put them any higher than not great. Doncaster, I'm going to put them into average, but they're probably a high end of average, maybe pushing on to decent. You know, there is a good fan base there, and you know, they've had a tough season like us really, and the fans have supported them. Credit to them really. They've got decent average home attendance, about 6,000. And they bring some good numbers on the road, but both games I went to, for atmosphere was very average, so that's why I've got to put it into that category. Gillingham, we're going to put them into average. Again, I think atmosphere does let Gillingham down in my experience. Obviously, the game in March time, when they came to our place, I don't actually remember a chant from them from the top of my head. Before, I think they brought around 400, which was decent. I think there was train strikes on that weekend, so credit to the ones who travelled, but I can't put them any higher than average really. Grimsby Town, I think they deserve to go into quality. I think both home and away, their atmosphere and following is quality really, and it deserves to go into that category. At home, on average, they get around 6,000, and on the road, I think they get just under 1,000 on average. So they've had some good away days this season. Away at Brighton, I think they brought about 3,000 or 4,000 there. Could have been more. And at our place, there were some good limbs in there. When they scored 2 late winners, so deserved to go into the quality category in my opinion. Harrogate 10, I think they have to go into Tin Pot. The following home and away is just not up to standards in League 2 really. I just don't think they've got the fan base really to get into the other categories and get a good following. You know, they've got some big teams around there like Leeds and the likes of them Yorkshire clubs, so they're never going to really have a big following, and I can't really put them any higher than Tin Pot. Hartlepool United, I'm going to put them into decent. What I've seen of them this season and even last season, I was really impressed with, and they deserve to go into the decent category. You know, they've got a good atmosphere base there. They get about 4,000 at home this season, which is pretty decent for a season where they've been really dire, really. And they've got good fan base, really, and I wish them all the best in the National League next season. Leighton Orient, I think this one might be a bit controversial. Let me know in the comments, but I'm going to put them into average. I just think atmosphere, home and away, did let them down in both games I went to. They were doing really well in both games too in the league, so I was expecting a better atmosphere, especially when they came to us. I was probably expecting a few more. It might have been due to train strikes and factors like that, but you know, I just thought atmosphere let them down. They've got decent numbers home and away, but I can't put them any higher than average just for atmosphere really. Mansfield 10, they've got to go into decent. I think they always have had a decent following, what I've seen in League 2. You know, they brought a few to our place. I think it was near a sellout on New Year's Day, and then when we went to their place in October, there was a good atmosphere really. And yeah, I think that they deserve to go into decent really. Newport County, I think they go into not great category. I think obviously they've got a few miles to travel next season really. It's a very northern league, but even this season they do have to travel a lot of miles, so I'll have to take that into consideration. But for atmosphere, I can't really remember even both home and away for us this season, so yeah, I can't put it any higher than that. Northampton 10, another one that might be a bit controversial, but I think it's quite average really. On a Tuesday night they didn't bring many. I know it was a game that got rearranged, but not too far away, just under an hour and a half I think from Worcester to Northampton, so I was expecting a few more. And in the away game for us, the atmosphere wasn't outstanding, I thought, but there was some good numbers there, so I think it deserves going to average in my opinion. Rochdale, I'm going to put them into not great. You know, they've had a really dire season, another team, but you know, the ones who do follow the team, credit to you. It's a good away down. I did wish you was going to stay up because you are a good club, but fans wise, you only get around 2,800 at home, so you know, it has to go into not great really. Salford City, and I think this one has to go into Tin Pot. Home and away, they don't bring many, and fans that go there are probably majority Man United fans. Let's be honest here. So yeah, they're a Tin Pot following in my opinion. Don't create much atmosphere, so yeah, they have to go into Tin Pot. Stevenage, and I'm going to put them into not great. I just think for a team that were up there, probably expecting a few more fans maybe. I don't know if that's the fans that have gone this season, that's all that is their fan base, but you know, both games I wasn't really impressed with the atmosphere. Maybe in the away game, that wasn't a bad atmosphere to be fair, but on overall, I just can't put them into average alongside the other teams in there. Stockport County, and they're going to quality. I think home and away, they are quality. That Cheadle end at the home ground at Edgeley Park makes a great atmosphere. It's a great stand for the fans to generate an atmosphere. And away on the Christmas period when they came to our place, Boxing Day I think it was, great atmosphere again. And yeah, they've got a really good following, and obviously they'll be in League 2 next season. So yeah, we'll get to see that following again, and hopefully another decent 3 games between them. Sutton United, I'm going to put them into Tin Pot. Like I mentioned before, credit to the ones who travel home and away, but I just don't think their atmosphere and the numbers they take at home and away is probably just not up to League 2 standards. So there's only one category I could put it into, in my opinion, and that's Tin Pot. Swindon 10, I was debating between 2 categories, the quality and the decent category, but I've put them into quality. I think This season they've still had good numbers, even though it's been a pretty underwhelming season for Swindon. You know, they get average over 8,000 on average at home, decent numbers away from home too, and when they do better, they'll probably sell out the county ground. And we'll always remember that game on the last game of the 21-22 season when they sold out 2 stands. So yeah, quality support from Swindon, and you know, they're a big side for this club with a good following. Tranmere Rovers, I'm going to put them into decent. I think I know you probably would debate in the comments on your past experiences of Tranmere, but I just thought they were decent, especially when they came to our place. Thought they generated a decent atmosphere, and we've got a decent fan base too. They're another club who've had a pretty poor season, and yeah, they get around 6,000 at home for Tranmere, which is good with the teams around them. Good away following too, so yeah, I think they deserve to go into the decent category. Last team is obviously my team, Walsall. Might call me boys, but I'm going to put us into decent. Home attendances this season on average have been a lot better. We average around 5,500 now, which is really good for us. And then away we average just over 550. So some good numbers in there for a team who have been quite underwhelming in the second half of the season. And when we're doing much better, I can imagine the best got being rocky, because like many teams in this team in this ranking, I think the home atmospheres could be a lot better. But yeah, it's hard to generate atmosphere at home. But yeah, away atmosphere and following has been decent this season too. So yeah, going to put us into decent. So there you have it. I've ranked every 24 League Two sides, fans and followings this season, home and away. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. But would like to hear your thoughts on this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and up the Saddlers.